What's up, guys? It's Ninja on a Ninja, and basically, the guy I'm about to show you, for the record, it's Pondering Politics. Watch Elon take over White House as Trump visibly gives up. Okay, so first off and foremost, I've been saying that people in the mainstream, for the most part, I wouldn't say mainstream. Well, okay. Um, a lot of YouTubers are fake, as in no intelligence. They're just educated robots, copy paste, stealing thunder, things of that nature. And I want to show you real quick. I only watched the first few seconds of this video, but it's just like it's him trying to be clever. It's him trying to actually be smart, basically, because I haven't heard much media say what he's gonna say, right? So he must have made it up, or he heard it from somewhere that's pretty fucking stupid. And for him to go and say it still is pretty fucking stupid. But listen,
Shadow President Elon
what's on?
Shadow President Elon Musk
Shadow President Elon Musk. That's it. That's as far as I got. That's him trying to be intelligent and failing, basically. And I don't know this guy. I don't know him personally. All I know is that he is very fake and he steals thunder. He likes to hear an argument, and then he will go and make the argument, and then he'll show somebody that basically says what he just said, but for some reason he said it, and he had to say he's still in the argument. Basically, it's a little dumb, and he's showing you them saying he shows the proof on top of the fact. So, but we're gonna go ahead and check out a little bit.
took over the first meeting of Donald Trump's cabinet.
So first and foremost, it's not shadow president. It's President Elon Musk, because everybody and their mom knows that it's Trump, Elon, who is the president. There is no doubt. There is no hesitation. There's no gimmick. There's no trick. There's no anything. The shadow is the illusion, or like they're hiding, basically. Elon isn't hiding. He's showing up in the Oval Office. He shows up and stands up in meetings and whatnot. So to call it Shadow President Elon Musk, it just shows how dumb you are. So
And was so obviously in command that Trump himself seemed to get bored and either fall asleep or surf on his phone because, of course, the real president was in the room taking charge. But before we unpack all that, if you
but before we pack on all that, don't follow him. Unfollow him. Follow me. Fuck this faggot.
end up liking this
This is
video
all
and
he
you want to
does.
support the channel,
That's what he
please be
does
sure to hit
all
the
the time,
like,
every
subscribe,
day.
and alert bells before you go.
A like, a subscribe, and alert before you go. Like, why the fuck are you asking people and begging for them to do so? Like, at the end, it's okay. Like, it's like the world is so fucked up. Like, this is the difference between me and you, right? Look, watch this. This is called using your intelligence. You, by begging for a like, subscribe, and whatever, it's like tipping uh, when there's no service. The point of a tip is because I want to reward you for going up and over, going beyond, not because you made it like, oh, it's part of the fucking, you know, like it's part of the income. so to speak, or whatever, or like I have to give you the money. It's because you went up and over and you deserve it. Because there are people in the world that deserve less than the wages that they are given, and they can work for minimum wage, and they deserve less than minimum wage, basically. For example, if you're a manager at a store, you're not making a minimum wage anymore, so chances are you should try. And if you're not trying, then fuck your tip and fuck the wage that you're given. You know what I'm saying? Because you're not going up and over anymore. And it should be automated, and you're automating that, or automate, automating. It's You're automating that. It sounds weird. I don't know why it sounded so weird, but you're automating that whole sequence. I tip because you went up and over. I like, subscribed, and hit the alert icon because you were good enough for me to do so. But for you to ask before you've done anything, it's an asshole move.
So, all right, friends, we've got
And
several
that's true for anybody else that does
more
that.
clips to talk about in this video. Again, this is the first official meeting of
Everybody who does it is fake.
Donald Trump's cabinet, and once again, we see the power dynamic on full display.
It is Donald Trump's cabinet, you idiot. It's not Donald Trump's cabinet. It's Donald Trump's cabinet. There's no disputing that, right? He is the president. But is he leading the way? No, he is the president. There's no doubt in our minds that he is the president. But is he leading the way? Is he calling the shots? Is it his order? Is it his wishes? Is he, Trump wants this, Trump wants this. Does Trump want that? Or are you just saying that Trump wants that? Do you know what I'm saying? That's what we got to focus on. That's what you need to pay attention to. So, yes, it's Trump. It is his group. It is his cabinet. But he's letting one of his cabinet members speak that is actually does the work. So
With Shadow President Elon Musk taking charge. And I actually want
it's not a shadow. Again, we know.
to play this clip here. It's a silent clip. We'll get into the clips with the unfortunate audio. But notice what Trump does as Elon Musk stands up, takes charge, and the cabinet's eyes and the reporter's eyes are on Shadow President Musk.
Stop saying shadow Trump, President Musk. Trump disengages, maybe? Yeah, he disengages, so what?
Trump seems bored or he's falling asleep. I mean, he's just, again, he's like that kid in
Shut up.
class while, while the teacher's talking, his attention's
so
elsewhere because he's not really the president for all intents and purposes. And his fact post points out that Shadow President Musk spoke.
The only shadow here is you, as far as I know.
Before anyone else in the cabinet at this official cabinet meeting. And Musk is technically not part of the cabinet, right? He occupies
He said Musk. He didn't say Shadow President Musk.
no cabinet level formal position. But despite that, he speaks before any of the others. And we're going to play the clip of Trump introducing his boss.
And the Doge is very important, and Elon is here to give you a summary of what's happening, some of the things they found, some of the
It's not his boss.
horrible things they found, some of the theft and fraud, and we call it waste and abuse, but a lot of fraud, and probably some fraud that we're not going to be able to prove is fraud, but when you hear the names and the places where this money's going, it's a disgrace. But the Doge.
It's so funny. Trump's stream of consciousness way of speaking, the meanderings. Like he's revealed just in that alone that he has no real oversight of what Musk is doing, no comprehension of their remit, of their processes. They're finding so much waste, fraud, and abuse. I'm going to let him talk about it. And we're probably going to find fraud that we can't actually prove is fraud, which is a big deal, right? It's a big deal if you're calling something fraud and it's been congressionally mandated, congressionally approved, and you're trying to slash the budget, and you can't prove that it's fraud, but you just feel it's fraud. And again, I love watching Elon Musk watch Trump talk, and he's nodding.
He reminds me of there's a movie called, I forget what it's called. It's about a smart guy and how he, like, the teacher puts something in the hallway, like some impossible answer or question rather, and he answers it, and he runs away, and the teacher's like, "Wow, I can't believe he answered it." Um, um, but the point is, I'm trying to remember that movie because there's somebody, he makes a joke in that movie, and he points out that you're a freshman and you are proud that, like, you learned how to do something, and you're showing that congratulations, you're a first year student, you learned something, and now you're trying to prove to us how knowledgeable you are because you learned one thing. Basically, I'm trying to remember what that movie is called. Huckleberry Finn or something. It's the same actor. He's in the movie, but anyways, that's what this guy reminds me of. Basically, is like a commentator slash news anchor slash a reporter, and it's the first time he's ever done something, and that's what the whole shadow president Elon Musk statement was. Is probably because it's the first thing he thought about, and he thought it's super clever, and so he had to make sure to use it 50 times, even though nobody and their fucking mom has any question on who the fuck is the president right now. We all know it's Elon Musk, and just why you're calling it shadow just shows how much of a dumbass you are, and how education does not equal intelligence, you dumbass, and that's all you are is education. So
Along silently. It reminds me of Game of Thrones. I've referenced that dynamic before. I'll bring it up here as well. But this is Elon Musk standing up to talk.
And that's the way it works. So I'd like to have Elon Musk please say a few words.
Well, thank you, Elon.
Elon Musk, explain it because I can't. Basically, is what Trump said, and what this dumbass should have been saying, and should have pointed out, because that's what basically happened. As far as the disengagement, duh, anybody can see that. But what Trump said was, hey, this is Elon. He's the new guy. Everyone that's listening to me as the president, take it by my authority that you can listen to him. Go. And so he basically, it's like, Elon, you tell them everything because I can't. I'm too stupid.
Thank you, Mr. President. I actually just for myself.
And he says, thank you, Mr. President, to make everyone in the world, remember, actors, fake it, lying and shit. You all believe that, oh yeah, he is the president. And thank you, Mr. President, for the sublime authority, Chief. But behind closed doors, Elon's like, hey, Trump, can you grab me that water? You know what I'm saying?
Tech support here because this is actually.
So one of the things about this, believe it or not, there's so much revealed even here too. Elon Musk, yes, is awkward. Yes, he's cringe. But let's be very clear. Musk is 10 times smarter than Trump. There is no question. The IQ disparity between these two men is vast.
IQ is bullshit. Yes, it is vast, but that's because IQ actually has nothing to do with intelligence, and everything has to do with education. And all it does is tests your education. And the IQ disparities because Trump is a fucking idiot, and Elon is an idiot too, but he is educated, very much so, kind of like you, but more so. He is like you, but 10 times as better, whereas you are 10 times worse than Elon, though you're the same person as far as I'm concerned.
Musk is clever. He knows, again, on paper, Trump is the president. And in theory, if Trump were to find his spine, find his courage, Trump
It doesn't take a brilliant, like, a mastermind does not need to get involved to know, hey, Trump is the president. Like, come on now. And that's what you're acting like. And again, it's probably because you heard it from somewhere or have some feeling because of it, like an impression was left on you, basically. And that's what's speaking is that impression. But as far as you, you haven't molded. Like intelligence is actually your brain being molded. Um, you are just an impression. You are like a sticker. Basically, intelligence is like a tattoo, whereas education is like a sticker, almost in a sense. And you are like a sticker. Elon Musk is like a sticker. And I can say that because it's like Spanish, for example. If you both learn Spanish, you would forget how to speak it to a certain degree unless you commonly used it and kept it as part of your languages. Education is like that. With math, it's the same thing. It's like that. But as far as intelligence, you always know how to ride a bike. You'll never forget how to ride a bike. How to do a steering wheel, how to do this and that. Maybe it's a little bit like there's a certain situation, but there's certain things you will never forget. And that's your intelligence. Yeah.
Trump could eject Musk from the White House, right? So he does everything in his power to flatter Trump, to keep Trump mollified, to keep Trump pacified.
No, he doesn't. Trump does that already. He does what he's doing to make everybody else in the room also believe it.
As he usurps attention and control. So that's why he tries to downplay his level of influence when they're around each other, because he knows Trump is a malignant narcissist and this might provoke him. This might make him skittish. Again, in Game of Thrones, we see similar dynamics play out between de jure rulers, the rulers on paper, and the de facto rulers. Again, we'll get into that. So very clever.
No, it's not clever. And again, there is nothing between him and Trump. It's between the eyes of what's between them, but in the eyes of everyone else, what everyone perceives of the relationship. Basically, what happens behind closed doors, it doesn't really matter. You can be right in the sense that I can't piss him off, because if I make him an enemy, then I don't get the sweets or the goods. Sure, obviously, right? Again, you don't have to be a mastermind to know that. If he's pissed off, he ain't gonna let me hit it, obviously, right? But again, you're wrong. They're not putting on a show for each other. They're putting on a show for everyone watching them. Like, for example, the Republican side believes in that bullshit, whereas the liberals are like, no, we don't believe that Trump is capable. No, we don't believe this. We know that Elon is the leader, and we know blah blah blah. Right? We know that this is the case, so we know that. And I would say in the world of Republicans, conservatives, and whatnot, the people on the right, you can say the shadow puppet Trump, or Elon rather, and the saying shadow puppet Elon works because they completely sold. I mean, more and more and more they are. So less and less, I think that works. But that's as far as that goes. I think you're just an idiot, and you're just trying to sound like you know what the fuck you're talking about when you actually don't. Because again, you want everyone else to believe you know, but you actually don't know.
Even though it's a bit awkward.
Just like Trump, between Trump and Elon.
By Musk, but Trump is probably too stupid to catch on. Here's another clip.
Nope. Like, well, is this real? Just go to doge.gov. We line item by line item, we specify each item. So, and I should say, we will make mistakes. We won't be perfect, but when we make mistakes,
the government is supposed to be perfect. By the way, you can make mistakes, but they're like very, 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 very far and few between.
We'll fix it very quickly. So, for example, with USAID, one of the things we accidentally canceled very briefly was Ebola, Ebola prevention. I think we all
We just accidentally, in our hack and slash, burn it all down, machete approach, we accidentally deleted congressionally approved Ebola prevention. But thank God we caught it, because then we put it back in. How about you just don't do that? How about you just don't treat this like it's your private company? Because this isn't your private company. This is the federal government of the United States of America,
Right.
funded by taxpayer dollars for the benefit of American citizens.
That's why they implemented Congress, is because Congress would have jumped in the way and been like, yeah, but what about the Ebola thing? But, oh, you're right. It wouldn't happen. And that's why it's called Congress, not like progress. It's Congress. That's the whole point of Congress. Let's try to fuck it up or try to find the reason why. Like, okay, you have a good role for now, nah. But for some reason, right now they're actually like this with one another, whereas before they're like,
And it's not your personal toy. It's not your personal fiefdom, or at least it shouldn't be. You should be very surgical, very precise with what's going on. And we've talked about, Doge's mistakes, their fuck-ups have been littered all over the internet. We've done videos about some. Luke Beasley's done videos about some. Adam Mockler and others. They fired.
Luke Beasley, also fake, and Adam Mockler, also fake.
Non-essential federal workers, get out of here. And then it turns out those people had career expertise and were attending to the nuclear stockpile. So then they scrambled to hire them back. Oh my God, I'm sorry, we're so sorry. But it turns out they were missing updated contact information for some of them. That's one example. They accidentally gave administrative privileges to a 20-something Doge intern who had access to Treasury information, our social security numbers, our home addresses. Oh no, they only have read-only permissions. Yeah, that's bad enough. But no, they were accidentally given administrative privileges where they could change that shit. Just one screw up after another. So Elon Musk has no credibility on this issue. We'll continue.
You could ask.
No, see, if you're smart, you point out how the government has Congress. And these mistakes that Doge is making wouldn't be made in the government because we have Congress. And that's why our forefathers invented the need for Congress, is to make sure these fuck ups didn't happen. It's just now everyone involved is a corrupt piece of shit. Everyone's a lying, trying to cheat and weasel as much as they can and try to get as much money as they can, so the whole system looks fucked up. But our forefathers were brilliant, and really, if you had Congress, if Elon had Congress, somebody would say no because we need this, it wouldn't happen. And yeah, anyways.
Me or Elon? Go ahead, please.
Thank you, Mr. President. Thank you, Mr. Musk. I just wanted to ask you that President Trump put out a Truth Social today saying that everybody in the cabinet was happy with you. I just wondered if you had heard otherwise, and if you had heard anything about members of the cabinet who weren't happy with the way things were going, and if so, what are you doing to address those any dissatisfaction?
Sorry. So that question was actually pretty good. Reason why is because it's like, okay, so it's peachy clean as your claim is. My question is, what about where it's not peachy clean? Basically. And the reason why that question is brilliant is because it shows you connect to the system and you can make a mistake and wrongs can happen. And again, this is he is speaking from the Congress zone, where it's like, okay, well, as good as you have it, there's people that are going to not like what you're doing. What do they say, and how do you feel? Is basically what he said. Are you paying attention to everybody, or only is everybody allowed to kiss your ass and no one's allowed to be me and play the honest role to keep you in charge, keep you in check, so you end up graved at a party?
Hey, you let the cabinet speak just for a second. Is anybody unhappy with him? If you are, well, throw him out of here. Hey, you let the cabinet speak just for a second. Hey, you let the cabinet speak just for a second. Is anybody unhappy with him? If you are, well, throw him out of here. Is anybody unhappy?
Oh my God. What North Korean style bullshit is this? Like, does anybody have an issue with our boss? Does anybody have an issue with it? We'll throw you out if you do. And then, of course, they basically give a standing ovation. No, we love Elon Musk. We love this unelected, unaccountable MAGA billionaire.
Yeah.
I see. So cringe.
That's why I was like, dude, I'm so fucking pissed off with the world because everyone's just kind of going with it, and I hate the people who were, hired to be like what's it called, especially these people. I forgot what they're called. Basically the managers of the state, basically, or the lawyer rather, attorney general. Basically, instead of fighting, they quit so they could keep their retirement funds. And basically, that's what I hated. Like, why the fuck are you there then? Why are you taking that role from somebody else? Somebody who would have, taken it to the mat. Like, if we're gonna just say no and quit and leave and you're fucking, it's over. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're fucking America up.
And pathetic.
So,
like anybody was actually going to accept that as a good faith invitation to voice any sort of disagreements with Musk. Here's another clip.
Wait, what'd you say?
Cringe. Unelected, you do. And then, of course, they basically give a standing ovation. No, we love Elon Musk. We love this unelected, unaccountable MAGA billionaire. I see. So cringe and pathetic. Like anybody was actually going to accept that as a good faith invitation to voice any sort of disagreements with Musk. Here's another clip.
Mr. Musk. Go ahead, please. Yeah.
Mr. President, thank you, Mr. Musk. Are there about half of the government employees so far appear to have responded to your request for what they've been doing over the past week? Is there a timeline in place for next moves for people being fired, and when can people expect to see results of that?
Yes. Well, to be clear, I think that email perhaps was best interpreted as a performance review, but actually it was a pulse check review. Do you have a pulse? Do you have a pulse and 2 neurons?
It was interpreted as a performance review because that's precisely what you led us to believe. You made it very clear it was a performance review, that they were supposed to justify their jobs by sending you what they did in the past week. That is a form of performance review. Again, this walking it back is so strange, and I imagine it's because of the dissent it created, given that FBI Director Kash Patel and the DOD and I think the Department of Health and Human Services kind of publicly pushed back on this and said, disregard Musk's email. So then Musk, in order to protect his own authority, had to downplay the it's not that big of a deal. Yeah, they can push back on it. This was wildly misinterpreted, but another email is coming. Here's Musk following up with why he did what he did and the permission he got from Donald Trump to be more aggressive.
Roughly a million employees have responded so far to this email. Does that mean that the remaining 1 million or so federal employees now risk being terminated? And is it your understanding and expectation when you post a directive on X that the cabinet secretaries will follow that order? Because several agencies have instructed employees that this is voluntary or not to respond.
Yeah, well, I mean, I guess it was like last week, the president encouraged me via Truth Social and also via phone call to be more aggressive. And I was like, okay, yes, sir, Mr. President, we'll indeed do that.
Yes, sir, Mr. President, we'll indeed do that. Even
the president is the commander-in-chief. I do what the president asks. And I said, can we send...
Again, it's more hand-waving for everybody watching them. It's not so much for him and Trump, it's for everyone who's watching him and Trump.
I got an email to everyone just saying, what did you get done last week? The president said yes, so it did that. We got
sure.
a partial response. We're going to send another email. But
It kind of
So again,
this watching him talk to them about Trump. It actually reminds me of me talking to my parents about my friends, and like we would fuck around and we would lie, cheat, and steal so we could stay out or so we could have extra candy, or so we can be friends with Natasha or hang out with her, or Griselda and talk to her, and we're trying to get them to go outside and do whatever. But that's what it reminds me of, is we're trying to make you think that it's fake it till you make it, basically. Like, but the problem is, again, it's not like you fucking around or between you kids. He's a grown ass man in the government. And it's reminding me of shit I used to do when I was a 12-year-old kid. Like, we can't have that.
and Musk is having to walk this tightrope because even though he commands influence with Trump, the media, I mean, they're asking a fair question, but it risks potential divisions there, which is, so clearly you gave a directive. Do you believe that cabinet secretaries should obey it, given that some cabinet secretaries seem to publicly defy it? So it creates an interesting dynamic that Musk has to very carefully navigate because he still doesn't want to spook Trump. Remember, in theory, Trump at any time could snap out of this trance, find his fortitude, find his courage, and say, Elon, get the hell out of here. Secret Service, get this asshole out of the cabinet.
What the fuck are you talking about? No, he won't. No, he can't. Never will that ever happen. Because Trump is senile. He's a fucking idiot.
Interesting dynamic that Musk has to very carefully navigate because he still doesn't want to spook Trump. Remember, in theory, Trump at any time could snap out of this trance, find his fortitude, find his courage, and say, Elon, get the hell out of here. Secret Service, get this asshole out of the cabinet.
You're right. He could. But you're wrong in saying that it could happen or that it might happen for whatever reason, because it'll never happen.
The cabinet office here, much like in Game of Thrones, the king could dismiss the hand of the king. The
Never
hand of the
happened.
king being the king's principal
Never
advisor, the
happened.
deputy king. The
Never
hand of the
happened.
king was permitted to do everything
Never
the king could
happened.
do. He could sentence people to death. He could, raise armies. He could issue commands to other high officers of state. The only thing is the king could overrule the hand. And in Game of Thrones, for much of the series, the king.
If you remember as well, Trump is like Joffrey in the sense that Joffrey's granddad's actually ruling. He's actually making decisions, like financial decisions, and this decision, and that decision, and I like militarily this and that, blah blah blah. Like, yeah, Joffrey's the king, but let me speak to my granddad about this. Is basically what's going on. Like, you're acting like Trump will wake up and realize, oh, this is just a dream. I'm the president. I'm gonna do the right thing now. Like, that'll never happen. Trump's a fucking lying piece of shit because he can't handle it. He's just too deep. He just has to hand it over because it's the only thing he can do. He wants to go fuck off and play golf. He pulls out his phone and disengages because he can't handle it anymore.
King was Joffrey, the sadistic boy king, for those of you who didn't see the show. First 4 seasons great, then season 6, 5, 7, and 8 all suck. It's an absolute monarchy. And so Joffrey was technically
That's a 5, 6. He says 6, 5, and 8. Why?
nominally the de jure absolute authority over the land in Game of Thrones called Westeros.
And for the record, they didn't suck except for the ending. That sucked.
But the hand of the king, his grandfather, was the de facto ruler, power behind the throne, and everybody knew it. Everybody knew it.
Right.
But they had to walk a tightrope. So Joffrey was
No.
intimidated by his grandfather, scared of him, even though his grandfather technically served at his pleasure. And Tywin, the hand of the king, Joffrey's grandfather, had to be very careful. He couldn't publicly undermine Joffrey's authority because it would also bite Tywin in the ass. Right? Wait, well, you're shit-talking the guy at whose pleasure you serve. It actually undermines your own authority, right? And so it was a careful balancing act, and that's what you're seeing here. That's what you're seeing Elon Musk do. He recognizes he's got a narcissistic,
Right.
dumb puppet who could, in theory, cut the strings
No.
and kick him out. So he
No.
has to walk a tightrope. But you're still seeing this
No.
dynamic on full
No,
display.
see, that's where you're wrong. That will never happen. The problem is the whole world can wake up and realize, oh, Trump's a puppet. As is right now, everyone thinks it's actually falling under Trump. And so we elected Trump, and we're getting what Trump wants. And Trump's doing what he wants to do. Elon's doing what Trump wants to do. But what's going on is we're doing what Elon wants to do. And they're making it look like Trump wants it. And even Trump is making it look like Trump wants it. But in reality, it's what Elon wants. That's why they're saying President Elon, you dumbass.
Play with Musk presiding over the cabinet, making it very clear that he is first in priority, and also conveying that yes, when he sends an email out, he expects it to be treated as a directive. So just really fascinating dynamic in play. It's only going to further breathe life into the increasingly common perception that Musk is a shadow president or co-president. And everything they do seems to further reinforce that. Trump has done nothing to rebuke or rebuff or refute the notion that Musk has his hand up Trump's ass. And as long as that's the case, we're going to keep talking about it. In the meantime, let me know what you think in the comments.
You mean you're gonna keep on faking it until you make it? Yeah, I know. And I'll never get carried because I carried the truth, and I have what the world actually needs. I know the truth. I know the reality. I know, baby, I got what you need, but you say I'm just a friend. Anyways, yeah. So yeah, there you go. Anyways, that's it. There will be more, but yeah, as I said before, pondering politics. That dude. There is nothing in his personality that strikes intelligence in my eyes. Elon Musk, same thing. Trump, same thing. There's no intelligence between them both. Someone is taking advantage of Elon, someone is, and so forth and so on. But as far as the KKK, they do have intelligence. Steve Bannon, Jeff Sessions. There's a bunch of names I don't remember. I can't think of. Like some of them look like they're just fucking doing. Like Steve Bannon looks like he sleeps with little girls and a grand wizard. He just looks like it. Mitch McConnell looks like he would be a grand wizard of a KKK as well, and so forth and so on. But yeah, anyways, yeah, that's it. Yeah, I just had to call him out because this video came up and he just pissed me off. So there you go. We'll just keep it going. We'll see how it is. But yeah, take a look. Keep these. Peace out.